Here we have it on the first contest of the evening. Joining me on commentary for this one, Terry Dooley. We criticised Muhammad Ali a little bit in his last performance, but in hindsight, it was a good performance against Ben Fields, who's been causing upsets.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see what Ali does tonight. Obviously, I was quite critical of him last time. I think I expected a bit more of him after his debut performance, so it'll be interesting to see how he approaches this one tonight.
Nice sharp start from Ali there. He's got to have a lot of credit. He stepped in with a fellow unbeaten fighter in just his third fight, and not many fighters do that. So it's a little bit of a statement, that, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good to see, and as you say, it was a little bit of a statement from him. He got the win against Fields. He moved on to 3-0, and as you say, it'll be interesting to see how he approaches this fight tonight. He's got another 4 rounds to work with. I'd like to see a bit more venom from him in this particular fight. I think that was what was missing last time out.
Yeah, and MJ Hall is always a difficult opponent, isn't he? He troubles a lot of the fighters he's in with. It's so awkward and difficult to hit.
Yeah, and we can see that already. He's going to be quite difficult to, as you say, pin down with a clean shot. And if you can't get a clean shot in, then it's always going to be difficult to stop the opponent. So it'll be interesting to see how much guile Ali shows in this fight tonight.
Yeah, and already Ali's gone with the straight shots to the body, and a couple of the stoppages that MJ Hall's had against him have been through straight shots to the body, so he's clearly been watching the tapes and he's worked his opponent out.
Yeah, and as you say, he just dipped down to the body then again. And whatever happens with Ali, whether he performs, I think his fans will be vocal about his performance because he brings good support. We saw them milling around there earlier tonight. And the thing that I like about him, he brings families to his fights as well.
Yeah, he's had massive support, hasn't he, so far in his career? And we've seen a lot of people coming out. And Steve mentioned it earlier. He had a lot of press when he made his debut, being the first professional boxer in the UK with diabetes. But it's like you said when we were speaking, he's just another prospect now, isn't he? And he's got to put that aside and make a name for himself with his boxing. Lovely combination again. Yeah,
as you said, he had the Sky. Sky did a spot on him. He's been mentioned by ITV, but as Steve said quite rightly, now he's into his 4th fight. He's a jobbing professional boxer, so we want to see what he's going to turn into. At this point, we'll start to see maybe signs for the fight that he will eventually become as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and he already looks to have settled down a lot more than he did in that last fight, doesn't he? He's sitting down in his shots and picking his shots. He seemed to rush his work a little bit last time out. Lovely right hand over the top again. Yeah,
and he seems to have learned from that as we go into the last 30 seconds of this round. It's probably been one of the most balanced rounds of his career so far. As you say, he's just worked his opportunities well. He's not done anything too rash.
Yeah, and of course, MJ Hall, southpaw as well. Different problems to solve than he would against an orthodox fighter.
Yeah, and that's why we've seen a couple of tangles already. It's just one of those things. Orthodox and southpaws do tend to tangle, especially at this level as well, so that's just something for people to look out for.
Yeah, and it's good that he's ticking this box so early in his career as well, because we've seen plenty of fighters go through to 10, 12-0 without fighting anyone that's southpaw, so he's certainly ticking boxes. Very good first round that for Muhammad Ali, and he'll be happy with that in the corner. Remember, you can contact us live on the Facebook stream or hashtag VIP Boxing Live on Twitter. We'll read all your comments out as the night goes on, and plenty of talent on show tonight. Who are you looking forward to seeing? Of course, the headliner Jack Flatley and Serjan Bomo. Let us know what you think to that fight. That could turn out to be an absolute war. Bradley Ray still to come. Jack Rafferty, James Moorcroft, the host of talent. Muhammad Ali's in there. He's settled down in that first round. It's a good first round in the bag.
Yeah, and both are choosing to stand up in the corner, which is interesting. Usually either one or another fighter does it on a very rarely.
Round 2.
And if you're in that Ali corner there, what would you be saying? Just more of the same?
Yeah, as you said, more of the same. Don't do anything too rash. Build on what he's done in the first round. As you say, he's targeting the body again earlier in the second round with a right hand and left hook to the body, so that's clearly his intention.
Yeah, and he's picked those body shots nicely early on. We mentioned it in the first round, but he looks like he's picking his shots a lot more than he did the previous times we've seen him. Nice short left hook as well. And you can already see MJ Hall's just tucking up to the body a bit more. I think he felt a couple of those body shots.
Yeah, they were quite meaty shots, as you say, and you do feel the effects of them, and they take it's a cliche, but it does take you a lot longer to shake off the effects of those types of shots.
Been impressive this so far from Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, and obviously people look at Hall's record and think it might not be impressive. He's lost 30 times, drew twice, has not had any victories, but he's not really an easy man to stop. So Ali would have to really put in a performance to get the stoppage in this fight.
Yeah, and I mentioned it earlier, it seems like body shots are where MJ Hall usually gets stopped by in those 3 stoppages, so he's clearly done his homework as well.
Few
lovely left hook to the body again. He's really picked these body shots nicely. It's something we're not seeing so far from him in his career.
Yeah, it's good. It shows that maybe something he's been working on in the gym. And as you say, it might show not prior knowledge of the opponents as well, which is a good sign if that's the case. And he just looks much more settled in this particular fight, Ali, than the last time we saw him.
Yeah, he seems to have taken on board all the lessons he could have learned from being in the ring last time.
And that's a good thing, it bodes well for him, like you say. Sometimes in the past fights went 10, 15 fights without having to actually learn any lessons. And in some cases we had British fighters going to 20, 25 and all, and then coming unstuck when they got their first real test. I think that culture's changing somewhat now. A few more fights down the line with Ali's support, they may get some more stiffer tests.
Yeah, and we've seen that VIP fighters are being matched with each other as well, these prospects coming through, and I'm sure Muhammad Ali, he's not far away from being mixed with these guys as well. And so far tonight, he's shown why. He's putting a really good performance so far in his opening 2 rounds.
And to be fair, the people who come and watch Ali fight, if he loses or draws a fight, they're still going to turn out to watch him. It seems that the support seems to be based on mutual friendships and mutual respects as well. So he can have a gamble at some point, Ali, and if he takes a gamble, puts in a good result, then it means he might attract a wider fan base as well. He was just one there for pulling his opponent down, but that, as we said, with the feet angling in it's been a bit messy in a few patches. That's always going to be the case. Again, enough of right hand to the body just as the bell went. It was slightly low, but the protector is quite high as well, so the two things cancel each other out.
Yeah, and one thing's for certain, it's definitely another round in the bag that for Muhammad Ali. He looks nice and relaxed in that corner as well.
Yeah, he's got no reason to be anything else other than relaxed. He's not had anything to think about in this fight. He's been able to go out there and work on the stuff he's been working on in the gym. As you say, there's more body punches going in there now, so that might be something to look out for in future fights when he uses this one as a way of testing that particular approach and finding his range.
Yeah, and he's picked the body shots nicely, as we said, and it's the case, isn't it, sometimes that, you know, these prospects won't start getting stoppages till they go 8, 10 rounds. You know, when the body shots are really going to start to have an effect later on. Sometimes the 4 and 6 rounds aren't long enough.
Yeah, we've said it before. You don't expect stoppages in fights like this. If they come, it's a nice added bonus for the fighter. But people have to bear in mind the prospect is trying to get some rounds, and the opponent's trying to make sure they can fight the following week and they don't get stopped and get a temporary ban from the board. So sometimes the two things can negate one another.
Yeah, statement of intent at the start of this 3rd round from Ali, charged out from his corner there through a barrage of shots.
Yeah, he came out fast and topped it off with another left hook to the body as well, which you spotted earlier, Luke. So he's certainly looking to make some kind of a statement or a point in this round.
And missing with that left hook to the head wildly. Doesn't want to load up with his shots now he's had that success. He still needs to get working behind that jab like he did in the first 2.
He holds his left hand low as well, Ali. That's something people might work on with their own right hands as his career progresses. And as we mentioned before, the fact that these fights are recorded and put on the internet is good for the fighters themselves, but also potential opponents can watch them pretty much from the start of their career and start working on how to beat them.
Just a little nick above the right eye of MJ Hall here, just on the corner of his eyebrow. Nothing caused him too much trouble, but you know, it's showing that Ali is landing to the head as well. Nice left hook to the body from Ali. He took a couple of shots of his own in this exchange, though.
Yeah, he stayed in the pocket for this one. He landed a brace of hooks to the body as well, and as you say, he then took a couple of shots.
Yeah, it's a pretty ambitious MJ Hall we've seen tonight, isn't it? He's thrown a lot more punches than we usually see him doing.
Yeah, in this round, he's, like you say, he landed a couple. He's had some successes, but mostly because Ali has been more expansive and open himself this round.
There's that right hand to the body again. MJ Hall did well to catch that on its way in, just take the force out of it.
And a smear of blood by his nose as well. So, as you say, Ali's clearly landing some headshots as well as a body work, although the referee tells him to make sure the body shots don't stray below the belt.
Lovely work again from Ali. It seemed to wobble MJ Hall a little bit there. I don't know if he felt that. A nice right hand over the top again from Ali. Seems to have hurt him a little bit here. He's just gone back into his shell a little bit, MJ Hall here.
Yeah, as you say, he looks like all could fall. He's not enjoying it. He's stumbling around a little bit as well. And these are meaty shots he's taking. The blood's flowing from the nose quite freely now.
Yeah, you can see Ali certainly sensed something in there. He's loading up with his shots now. Not missing with that uppercut. MJ Hall did well to get out of the way of that. A little bit of head movement to get out of the way of it.
Yeah, and it's probably been one of the best rounds of Ali's career in terms of looking like he could force a stoppage, because all has looked pretty ragged towards the end of this round.
Yeah, and he's kept the pressure on throughout the 3 minutes. We said at the start of the round he came out like a bull to a red rag at the start of the round, and he kept that up. Nice little tempo he set there.
Yeah, I mean, if he was going to get the stoppage, it probably would have come in that last round.
Yeah.
I think Hall will now see the light at the end of the tunnel, and will try and fidget his way through this round. So we'll find out a lot more about Ali in this round, about whether they can get someone hurt and keep them hurt, and maybe try and get an early finish.
Yeah, and we've seen MJ Hall, fiddle his way through the rounds, like you said. And these journeymen, people don't appreciate it. They know all the tricks of the trade to get through the 3 minutes, and he's 3 minutes away from another payday here.
Yeah, John Evans and I were talking on the way here that there might be a generation of boxing fans who don't understand what these opponents bring to the table. As we say, they're very hard to hit 9 times out of 10, because they have to fight on the road. They have to make sure that they don't get beaten up and get bans from the board for losing fights by stoppage. So it is very difficult to stop someone like this, and you really have to put it on them in order to force that stoppage.
And if you're any doubt about these guys' abilities, well, look at someone like Brett Fido or Craig Derbyshire or Daryl Sharp. They've won titles or got in title contention, even though they have a lot of losses on the record. They have got a lot of ability as well, some of these opponents, and MJ Hall's certainly one of them. Yeah,
it often tends to be guys who can fight but might not have big promotional backing, so they lose a fight, have to take enough one a few weeks later, then lose that fight, start having more losses than wins, and it becomes a case of them realising that they have to take it on the road and fight on the road as the opponent in order to just still be part of the sport. And if that's their sole form of income, then they need to be able to do that. They need to be able to earn money, and it's good money to be earned as the opponent.
Yeah, tough money.
Yeah, it's hard money. It's not something I'd like to be doing on a Saturday night. But this time the tempo has been a bit lower for Ali in this particular round. We've seen that, I think, in his first 3 fights as well. Towards the end of the fight, his tempo maybe dips a little bit. Might be something to do with his condition, or it might just be that he put so much into the first couple of rounds. It's just a natural thing.
Yeah, and I think fighters start to settle when they get into the last round. They settle into the fact that it's going to go the distance. They just look after themselves, make sure they don't get any cuts, and it's important that he keeps active now as well, Ali, this year.
Yeah. And between rounds, all will have just thought to himself, 3 minutes, I've got to get through 3 minutes, and I can do that. I've done it many, many times before.
It's been impressive, this, from Ali so far. Certainly the best performance of his career to date, this. There's no doubt about that.
And as we say, also in his 32 bouts, he's done 139 rounds, only been stopped 3 times, so that's 3 bad rounds, really bad rounds that he's had. So he'll have come out for this round fairly confident that he could see the final 3 minutes. Bit of a stumble there, nothing. He just kind of bumped himself into Ali and went over, but it shows that Ali is quite a solid unit as well.
Yeah, and he's showing the power that he hasn't shown before tonight as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's not razor sharp power, it's kind of clubbing power that he has, but that can take a toll on fighting, as you say. Over 8 and 10 rounds when you're getting clubbed around like that, that's when you'll start to see fighters maybe fall apart against Ali.
Yeah, and as he goes through his career and he starts to land more shots and, you know, throws that right hand a little bit more technically, he's going to start hurting people. There's no doubt about that. 30 seconds to go this final round.
Yeah, a nice right hand and left hook there by Ali. He's not thrown as many body punches this round, so maybe that's why it's not been as impressive as the previous three. But as I say, that he lands a double left hook to the body.
I'm really impressed with this performance. You know, it's important he keeps active now, isn't it? We mentioned it before, but it's vital for these prospects to get as many fights in a short space of time as possible.
Yeah, especially someone who fights the way Ali fights. I think the more fights he gets, the better we'll see from him.
Yeah. Certainly job done there for Muhammad Ali, and I think we'll be seeing a 40-36. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I'd be surprised. I was at a show last week where a couple of the cards I was out of sync with the referee, but I think on this particular occasion, 40-36, it'll be as clear as day.
Yeah, I know, and it's all well and good stopping people early on in your career, but it'll do him good to get another good 4 rounds in the bank. First fight after the Christmas break. A good little workout for him.
Yeah, and you should say it's imperative this year he stays active. I think that's what Steve is hoping to see from him. And Ali ticks a lot of boxes by selling a lot of tickets as well, so it's waits for the promoter and the fighter for him to fight quite often.
Yeah, absolutely, and the fighters are happy to fight as regularly as they can as well, and if you speak to Ali, he'll certainly tell you that. The referee brings both men in together. We'll hand over to the MC Michael Pass to announce the official result.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 rounds of absorbing action, Star America was scored this contest 40 points to 36 points for Newcombe. Now competing for professional contest here from and your appreciation please for AJ Hall.
There we have it then.